Coming up tonight on Middle Tennessee News, a tragic shooting leads to the arrest of a Bellevue teen, and a former priest has been arrested and is facing shocking charges.
An argument turns deadly in Rutherford County, and a head-on collision in Antioch leads to a fatal accident. All those stories, plus your local weather and sports. Middle Tennessee News starts right now.
Good evening. I'm Dylan Simmons.
And I'm Alicia Saeed. Welcome to Middle Tennessee News.
A blue alert has been issued for the state of Tennessee following a fatal shooting of a Blount County deputy. On Thursday, Deputy McGowan and Deputy Shelby Eggers pulled over suspect Kenneth DeHart. DeHart was performing reckless driving as he failed to maintain a lane in Blount County. Authorities reported DeHart refused to cooperate with the deputies and would not exit the vehicle. DeHart then fired shots at the officers. Deputy Shelby Eggers was injured after being shot in the leg, and Deputy McGowan later died at the hospital, according to the authorities. A manhunt now continues as a blue alert was issued statewide, and DeHart has been added to the TBI's most wanted list. U.S. Marshal David Jolly details their confidence in finding and making the arrest of Kenneth DeHart.
We always do. That will happen. A lot of people are looking for him. So I will say this. We will find him. We always do.
A Bellevue teen is in custody after a targeted shooting in an East Nashville parking lot. 18-year-old Rico Doss is in custody following the death of 16-year-old Takeo Bills and 17-year-old Jalen McAdams. The shooting occurred around 7 p.m. February 8th in the parking lot of Meg's Magnet School in East Nashville, according to the Metro Nashville Police Department. Officials reportedly tracked Doss's vehicle and he was arrested at his Bellevue apartment February 9th. Metro Nashville PD announced on social media that Doss is being charged for 2 counts of criminal homicide.
The Metro Nashville Police Department has made an arrest in connection to last week's attempted rape on the Cumberland River Greenway. Last week, we covered the report where a 25-year-old woman was attacked while on a run and was saved by a passing bystander. The victim then identified 43-year-old Christopher Chapman from a photo lineup. Police say Chapman was coming home from a homeless camp prior to the attack. The day after the attack, Chapman broke into a church on Glen Rose Avenue. Nashville police arrested him that day for aggravated trespassing and now is also under investigation for an attempted rape.
4 people reported dead after a head-on collision yesterday morning in Antioch. Around 6:45 a.m., people living in the Allegro Bell Apartments complex were woken by the sounds of a loud crash. According to police, a driver in a Camaro sped into oncoming traffic and crashed into a Toyota SUV. It was reported that all 4 of the people in the Camaro died before the paramedics could arrive on the scene. So far, police have only been able to identify 1 of the 4 victims, 20-year-old Alonzo Alfrenzo.
An argument led to a deadly shooting in a Murfreesboro neighborhood Friday afternoon. The shooting occurred on Twin Oak Drive in Murfreesboro, where police found resident David Hager dead along with the suspect still at the scene. The authorities claim that Hager was shot at his residence during an argument. According to Detective Sergeant Joe Duncan, the other man has been interviewed and is cooperating with officials. The investigation is still underway and no other information has been released.
A former Franklin priest has been indicted on charges of sexual abuse of a child. A statement from the Catholic Diocese of Nashville was released on Friday, claiming that Associate Pastor Reverend Juan Carlos Garcia is under investigation, after a teen had reported that they were improperly touched by Garcia. The diocese announced that Garcia has been indicted with several charges by the Williamson County Grand Jury, including sexual abuse of a child and 4 counts of sexual battery by an authority figure.
2 Nashville men were arrested following the rape of a disabled minor. The Davidson County Grand Jury has indicted Abdirashid Ali Elmi and John Everett Von Cleek with multiple counts of assaults that took place last spring and summer. Both defendants are facing 2 counts of rape. Elmi is facing 3 counts of sexual battery for the assaults, while Von Cleek is facing just 2 counts of sexual battery. Prosecutors argued that the victim was physically helpless and was under the care of the 2 men arrested at the time of the assaults.
Numerous shell casings were found after 2 teens were shot in Edge Hill area. The shooting was reported just before 9 p.m. in the 1300 block of 14th Avenue South on Saturday night. 2 teens, ages 15 and 19, were taken to Vanderbilt University Medical Center and Vanderbilt Children's Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, according to the Metro Nashville Police Department. Officials reported they found multiple shell casings at the crime scene, yet no sign of any suspects. A vehicle that was perhaps involved in the shooting was also located. More information is expected to be released as the investigation continues. A man is being charged for a head-on collision that resulted in a woman's death in Rutherford County. 51-year-old Mario Valadez was reported dead at the scene following the crash. According to Highway Patrol, a 2002 Chevy Tahoe was going southbound on Lebanon Pike trying to pass another car on Wednesday, while a 2021 Toyota Corolla was on the correct side of the road. The Chevy ended up hitting the Toyota head-on, causing the Chevy to turn over and land on its top. Charges are still currently pending regarding this case.
An unlicensed daycare owner is under investigation after a 6-month-old baby was found dead in her home. The Metro Nashville Police Department said just after 4 p.m. Thursday, February 8th, officers responded to an apartment in the 400th block of Welshwood Drive after receiving a call regarding an unresponsive infant. The infant was taken to Monroe Carroll Jr.'s hospital, where she later passed away, according to investigators. Police said there were 10 children under the age of 3 in the apartment, which only has 1 room. Charges are currently pending as the investigation is still underway. And now Taylor Pennington joins us with our first look at the weather. Taylor, things are getting slick out there. What is the latest?
Thanks, Dylan. For our highs today, Manchester and McMinnville are sitting at a high of 59 degrees. Woodbury is slightly cooler with a high of 58 degrees. Shelbyville has a high of 57 degrees, and Murfreesboro and Smithville share a high of 56 degrees. Mount Juliet has our lowest high of the day, sitting at 52 degrees. For the humidities, both Manchester and Woodbury share a highest humidity at 100%. Followed by Shelbyville with a humidity at 99%. Smithville has a humidity of 98%, while McMinnville has a humidity of 97%. Murfreesboro and Mount Juliet have our lowest humidity of the day, with Murfreesboro sitting at 93% and Mount Juliet following at 92%.
Thanks, Taylor. And still ahead on Middle Tennessee News, early voting is coming up soon, and Dr. Larry Burris joins us with another insightful media commentary. That's coming up next after the break.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right, because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a 4th ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
Yeah, I know. That's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I
Welcome back to Middle Tennessee News. Some of the MTSU Rec Center staff are being held as heroes after helping to save a retired MTSU professor over the weekend. During his bi-weekly racquetball match, retired Professor Richard Detmer went into cardiac arrest. His racquetball partner, Rodri Srivastava, called for help as Detmer collapsed upon the court. 4 students, Julia Rutledge, Jasmine Jackson, Andrew Scregum, and Gatlin Murr, immediately rushed to the scene and administered CPR while contacting emergency services. Detmer credits his life to those students who were prepared for this emergency and uses his experience to emphasize the importance of learning life-saving techniques like CPR.
And here is Dr. Larry Burris with yet another media commentary.
In England, which lent its name to people who are accused of being opposed to technological developments, Luddites. So serious was the movement that an announcement of February 12, 1811, levied the death penalty for anyone convicted of destroying lace-making machinery. But at the risk of sounding like a Luddite, I have to say, I told you so. And what is the target of my joy? Well, it seems that long-playing vinyl records are making such a comeback that major producers and distributors are starting to embrace this supposedly out-of-date technology. Amazon.com, for example, has a vinyl-only store that boasts a catalog of hundreds of thousands of titles. Years ago, a few of us said music recorded in a digital format is missing something. And in fact, it is. It's missing music. Remember, digital music is sampled at a tremendously high rate, of course, but sampling, by its very nature, leaves something out. That's why audiophiles can tell a qualitative difference between vinyl and digital. They almost universally complain that digital music sounds tinnier, and sounds even worse when compressed. Even with the hisses and pops, vinyl sounds warmer and more precise. Plus, look at all the extras you get with a vinyl album. Liner notes you can really read, posters, lyric sheets, booklets. Certainly you have to treat vinyl with more care, but there was always something of a mystical experience to carefully wiping a record clean before you put it on the turntable. Yes, the turntable. With the rise in LP sales, there's been a concomitant rise in the sale of turntables, a fancy name for record players. The record companies are seeing another benefit to vinyl. You can't copy a record the same way you can a digital form. In fact, they're almost copy-proof. Oh, sure, you can transfer the sound to a digital format, but then you end up with the same inferior sampled sound. Now, obviously you can't play a vinyl record in your car, but even the best automobile sound system, you still have all that extraneous sound. And there's really no such thing as a portable turntable you can hang on your belt. Everyone admits vinyl isn't going to replace digital, but it's good to know that sometimes we discover that maybe the old ways aren't so bad after all. I'm Larry Burris. All the way.
Thanks, Dr. Burris. Join us next week for his next media commentary. Grab your Tennessee sweetheart for a date at this polls this Valentine's Day. Early voting for the March 5th presidential primary and county primary election will begin this Wednesday, February 14th, and will continue until February 27th. Beat the crowd and get out to the polls early. If you are not registered yet to vote, the time to do so is now. The voter registration application is quick and convenient and can be found online at govotetennessee.gov. All registered voters are encouraged to visit govotetennessee.gov or download the GoVote Tennessee app to view sample ballots. Find information on their nearest polling location and its hours of operation.
And now Taylor is back with tonight's forecast. Taylor, I stepped outside a bit ago and it was pretty chilly. How much colder could it get?
Well, Dylan, we're looking for the weather to get much cooler as the night goes on. For our lows today, Smithville has our lowest temperature of the day, sitting at 31 degrees. Shelbyville, Manchester, Mount Juliet, McMinnville, and Woodbury share a low of 32 degrees. Murfreesboro has our highest low of the evening, sitting at 33 degrees. As for conditions tonight, Murfreesboro and Shelbyville will have a light shower throughout the night, while Manchester, McMinnville, Mount Juliet, Woodbury, and Smithville have light showers with the addition of some light snow.
Light snow, my goodness. Thanks, Taylor. When we get back from break, Taylor will be back with our full 5-day forecast, and Jace Vincent will be in the MTN Sports Den with a look into what the week holds for sports. That's coming up next on Middle Tennessee News. Stick around.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts everywhere.
Today at
My
night.
parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on.
I hope it should.
They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase.
Look.
My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
that's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No, no.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Here's Taylor for our full 5-day forecast.
Thanks, Dylan. We're still looking at some chilly temperatures throughout the rest of this week as rain passes over the mid-state. Today in Murfreesboro, we have rainy conditions throughout the day with a high of 56 degrees and a low of 30 degrees tonight. Tuesday, we'll have a high of 52 degrees with sunny conditions and a low of 31 degrees that night. Look forward to a pleasant Valentine's Day on Wednesday with a high of 61 degrees, continuing those sunny conditions with a low of 40 degrees that night. Thursday will be partly cloudy with a high of 62 degrees and a low of 36 degrees that night. Friday will have a high of 57 degrees with mostly cloudy conditions and a low of 31 degrees that night. That's all I have for your full 5-day weather forecast. Dylan, back to you.
Thanks, Taylor. Jace Vincent will be in the MTN Sports Den when we come back right here on Middle Tennessee News. Yes, sir. Your time.
Son, love is like the ocean. You have to tread the waters.
Dad, that's not the kind of help I needed. Jessica, will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Or maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Natural disasters are a fact of life in the U.S. And between activities and school, chances are you won't be with your kids when they happen. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids can help your children feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text-to-emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Welcome back to Middle Tennessee News. We're back here in the MTN Sports Den. We're going to kick things off with MTSU's women's basketball team as they look to keep their winning streak alive on Saturday against FIU Panthers. The Lady Raiders were at it again with 3 starters in double figures, with Savannah Wheeler leading the way with 31 points. The Panthers proved they belonged on the court with MTSU in the first half, only trailing by 6 points. The Raiders would then open up a double-digit lead towards the end of the third quarter, where the lead only grew from there. MTSU would race away from the FIU Panthers, taking the home win 73-54, keeping their conference winning streak intact. And Savannah Wheeler earned herself CUSA Player of the Week after combining for 51 points over the week, scoring 20 against Liberty. MTSU is still atop the conference standings and will be on the road Thursday against the New Mexico State Aggies. MTSU's basketball team wrapped up their road trip last weekend as they face off against the FIU Panthers. A back-and-forth first half ended with Florida International entering halftime with a 7-point lead. The Panthers had a strong start to the second half, building up a 12-point lead with 11 minutes to go. MTSU stormed back thanks to a 19-6 scoring run for the Blue Raiders to take the lead with under 5 minutes left. Senior guard Elias King led the Raiders in scoring with 18 points while grabbing also 9 rebounds. Junior Jared Coleman-Jones finished the game with a double-double of 13 points and 13 rebounds. After a missed free throw, FIU missed a game-winning layup at the buzzer, ending a 2-game skid for the Blue Raiders. They'll square off against New Mexico State on Thursday back here in the Murphy Center. Next up, the men's tennis team split their matches this weekend against Power 5 competition. The Blue Raiders cruised to a decisive 6-1 victory against the Hokies of Virginia Tech on Friday. And after a slow start and eventually losing the doubles point, MTSU rallied to take all 6 matches with transfers Leo Racon and Demis Taramonlis making a quick work of their opponents, winning in straight sets. Andre Horak and Shu Matsuoka would secure the match for the Blue Raiders as they won their respective courts in straight sets as well. Racon won his third match against an ITA-ranked opponent with his win against the Hokie freshman Ryan Fishback. Sunday saw different results for the Blue Raiders as they would lose to the Indiana Hoosiers on the road in a close 4-3 match. The Hoosiers took the doubles point plus 3 of the top 4 courts lost in singles for MTSU. On the weekend, Horak, Taramonlis, and sophomore Kareem Al-Amin won both matches over the weekend. The Blue Raiders will be back in action this Friday against Northwestern. Moving on, the women's tennis team would also go on to split their weekend matches at the Adams Tennis Complex. The Blue Raiders secured a win against Southeastern Missouri on Friday despite losing the doubles point early. Grad transfer Alicia Truden and Ilaria Spositetti finished quickly with straight set victories, including 6-0 sweeps in the second set. Sonagar Akani and Alois Schwarbick took the last 2 points to complete the victory for MTSU. Saturday saw a marathon of a match between the Blue Raiders and the Lipscomb Bison, as it took over 4.5 hours to be completed. Truden was the first to win for the Blue Raiders with a superb 6-1, 6-0 victory, giving her a 3-match win streak. However, the last singles point between Sposetti and Lipscomb's Rutgal Indo would take nearly 3 hours to complete after the conclusion of Truden's match. Sposetti fell short on court 3 in what has been one of the longest matches of the season for the Blue Raiders, dropping their record to 5-4. They'll be up in Clarksville on Friday to take on Austin Peay. And finally, MTSU's track and field team traveled to Liberty over the weekend to compete in the Darius Dixon Memorial Invitational. Several Blue Raiders took home the victory in their events. Freshmen Nancy Mayo and Odilia Jepuchumba won the women's 3,000-meter seeded and invite runs, respectively. The women's team also took the victory in the distance medley race on the men's side. Freshman Sammy Sang won the 3,000-meter seeded run for the Blue Raiders. Back to you.
Thanks, Jace. And wrapping up our show tonight, the big game produces a lot of memories for our fans, but also a lot of apparent headaches for employees, all part of National Super Sick Day. It's also known as Super Bowl Monday, and as you might imagine, it is touted as one of the least productive days on the calendar.
There have been calls to make the Monday after the Super Bowl a national holiday, or even moving the game to President's Day weekend. Thank you for joining us, Middle Tennessee News. If you missed this or any show, you can watch them on our website, middletennesseenews.net.
See you next time.
Son, love is like the ocean. You have to tread the waters.
Dad, that's not the kind of help I needed. Jessica, will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Natural disasters are a fact of life in the U.S. And between activities and school, chances are you won't be with your kids when they happen. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids can help your children feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.